Hello everybody, I want to welcome you to our Tuesday PowerPoint. As you probably have already heard, the governor has loosened some of the restrictions surrounding gatherings that's pertaining to the virus situation. So I want to just start off today by letting you know that we'll be getting the word to you later this week about what Sunday will look like. We may be meeting, we may be opening up the doors to the building with certain precautions in place. And we'll let you know if we're going to do that and what precautions that we're taking. If we don't open the doors to the building, then we'll be back on Facebook again at 11 o'clock. And if we are opening up the doors to the building, we're going to attempt to do something that we're doing right now. And this is a live stream that we're doing right now. This is not a recorded session, and it will be recorded. It'll be there for you to see if you're not watching it live right now. But we'll be doing the same thing with our Sunday morning services. We'll be live streaming them so that you can watch them in real time from your home if you're not able to get out, or if you want to wait a little longer to see how the virus situation goes before you venture out. So we'll keep you updated with email and Facebook posts later this week on what we're doing. This past Sunday was Blue Sunday, and we talked about child abuse and child neglect, but we also talked about spiritual child neglect and how dangerous that can be. We looked at a number of scriptures. There's one from Deuteronomy chapter 6 where it's talking about God's words. And Moses tells the people, repeat them again and again to your children. Talk about them when you're at home and when you're on the road, when you're going to bed and when you're getting up. Tie them to your hands and wear them on your forehead as reminders. Write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. That's in Deuteronomy 6. Later in Deuteronomy 19, he says almost exactly the same thing. He says, commit yourselves wholeheartedly to these words of mine. Tie them to your hands. Wear them on your forehead as reminders. Teach them to your children. Talk about them when you are at home and when you're on the road, when you're going to bed and when you're getting up. Write them on the doorpost of your house and on your gates, so that as long as the sky remains above the earth, you and your children may flourish in the land the Lord swore to give your ancestors. And then there's another beautiful passage in Psalm 78 that says, I will teach you hidden lessons from our past, stories that we've heard and known, stories our ancestors have handed down to us. We will not hide these truths from our children. We will tell the next generation about the glorious deeds of the Lord, about His power and His mighty wonders. It is so important to tell the next generation. We tell them not just with the words, but with our lives. We want them to be able to follow our examples. We want to be a model for them as well as giving them the actual words. It's really important that we try to be intentional about this because we can get so distracted by the things of this world, all the events and the schedules and everything that gets in the way. A fellow by the name of Adrian Rogers, who's a preacher, he said that if Satan can't make you bad, he'll make you busy. That's his next best thing, right? Because it keeps us from doing those things that are eternally important. Now, our children, they're great imitators. So let's try to give them something great to imitate. Because if we don't teach our children to follow Christ, the world will teach them not to. All it takes is one generation to lose that chain of faith that we pass on. And that's something, unfortunately, that is happening. A recent survey in England showed that 2/3 of the young people there no longer believe in God. Another survey done by Barna here in the United States indicated that 2/3 of the young people here in the United States, when they leave home, will also leave the church. And those are sobering statistics. And that's why we've got to really pour everything in to these kids. Let them know how important God and eternity are. There's nothing wrong, we said, with athletics and academics, but these things can become all-consuming. Coaching our kids in sports, that's fine. And teaching our kids to count, that's fine. But teaching them what counts, that's even better. In fact, that's the best. Remember, your greatest contribution to the kingdom of God may not be something you do, but someone you raise.